The strange customer. Tahoe wiped down the last table at his family's Korean fried chicken restaurant, Golden Wings. The dinner rush had finally ended, and the familiar smell of spicy chicken and garlic filled the air. At 13, he'd been helping his parents run the restaurant for as long as he could remember. "Tahoe, can you take this order to table 5, his mother called from behind the counter, balancing a steaming plate of their famous extra spicy chicken. As Tahoe approached the corner table, he noticed something odd about the customer. The person wore an oversized black hoodie that completely covered their face, and they sat hunched over in an unusual way. When Tahoe set down the plate, he caught a glimpse of pale skin that seemed to have an odd, bluish tint. "Enjoy your meal," Tahoe said politely. The customer nodded without looking up and immediately began eating. But it wasn't normal eating. They made strange clicking sounds with each bite, almost like they were savoring something they'd never tasted before. Tahoe had never heard anyone eat like that. Throughout the evening, Tahoe couldn't help but glance over at the mysterious customer. They ordered 3 more plates of chicken, eating with the same intense focus and strange clicking sounds. Other customers began to stare too. When it was time to pay, the hooded figure approached the counter. Instead of money, they placed a small, flat disc on the counter. It was about the size of a coaster, made of what looked like dark metal, and it had strange symbols carved into its surface. "Payment," the customer said in a voice that sounded somehow wrong, like they weren't used to speaking Korean. Tahoe's mother looked confused. "I'm sorry, but we need money, not." "Keep it," the customer interrupted, placing actual bills next to the disc. "Gift. For excellent food." Before anyone could respond, the hooded figure walked quickly toward the door. Just before leaving, they turned back to Tahoe. "You will understand soon," they said, and Tahoe could swear he saw the gleam of very large, very dark eyes beneath the hood. Then they were gone, leaving Tahoe holding the mysterious disc. That night, Tahoe couldn't sleep. The disc sat on his desk, and he could swear it was giving off a faint blue glow. Every time he looked away and then back, the symbols seemed to have shifted slightly, rearranging themselves into new patterns. At school the next day, Tahoe couldn't focus on anything. His best friend Miho noticed during lunch. "You look terrible," Miho said, unwrapping his sandwich. "Didn't you sleep?" "Just thinking about something weird that happened at the restaurant," Tahoe mumbled. When Tahoe opened his backpack later to get his math book, a small piece of paper fell out. He didn't remember putting it there. The paper had the same strange symbols as the disc, but below them were normal numbers that looked like coordinates. His heart racing, Tahoe used his phone to check what the coordinates led to. An old warehouse at the edge of town, about 20 minutes away by bike. After school, Tahoe went back to the restaurant to help with the dinner prep. "Mom, can I take some chicken with me? I want to share it with some friends." His mother smiled. "Of course. Take the new batch, it's still hot." Tahoe packed 6 boxes of their spiciest chicken into his backpack, his hands shaking slightly. He knew he was about to do something crazy, but his curiosity was too strong to resist. The warehouse looked abandoned when he arrived. Tall weeds grew around it, and most of the windows were broken. Tahoe hid his bike behind some bushes and approached the slightly open door. "Hello," he called, his voice trembling. "Is anyone here?" From inside came a familiar sound, the same clicking noise the strange customer had made while eating chicken. Tahoe pushed the door open wider and stepped inside. The warehouse was mostly empty except for old boxes and dust-covered machines. Light streamed in through holes in the roof. "I brought chicken," Tahoe said louder. "Like you asked." Something moved in the shadows at the back of the warehouse. Then the hooded figure from yesterday stepped out. "Good," they said. "You came. You brought food." Tahoe nodded and pulled out the chicken boxes. "Here. But first, who are you? What was that disc you gave me?" The stranger walked closer with that same odd, too smooth movement. "Show disc." With trembling hands, Tahoe pulled out the glowing disc. The moment the stranger touched it, the symbols blazed brighter, filling the warehouse with blue light. Then the stranger did something that made Tahoe's world change forever. They pulled back their hood. Tahoe gasped and stumbled backward. Where he expected to see a human face, there was something completely different. The head was the wrong shape, rounded at the top but pointed at the chin. The skin was pale blue with small, shimmering scales. The eyes were enormous, completely black with no whites at all. Where ears should be, small fin-like appendages moved slightly. "My name is Nara," the creature said, its mouth moving strangely around the words. "I come from a world you call Gliese 832c. I am what you would call, alien." Tahoe wanted to run, but his legs felt frozen. "Do not be afraid," Nara continued. "I mean no harm. I am a scout. My ship detected the smell of your family's food from orbit. Nothing like it exists where I come from." You're really an alien?" Tahoe finally managed to ask. "From another planet?" Nara nodded, the movement unnaturally smooth. "Yes. And your chicken, it has a special effect on my kind. Like powerful medicine, but good. Very, very good." To prove the point, Nara opened one of the chicken boxes and began eating quickly, making those happy clicking sounds that had seemed so strange before. "The disc I gave you is a communication device," Nara explained between bites. "Payment. This technology is worth much on your world." "Why tell me this?" Tahoe asked, still in shock. "Why not go to the government or scientists?" Nara finished another piece of chicken before answering. "Governments are complicated. Scientists ask too many questions. You make food, I need food. Simple trade." Tahoe watched in amazement as Nara finished all 6 boxes in just minutes. "Need more," Nara said, those black eyes focusing on Tahoe intently. "Many more. I share with crew. They wait in ship. We pay well. There are more of you?" Tahoe asked, his eyes growing wide. Nara smiled, showing teeth that looked like small white triangles. "Many more. And all want chicken. The secret trade." 2 weeks had passed since Tahoe's first meeting with Nara, and his life had completely changed. Every day after school, he would sneak away to the warehouse with more and more chicken. What started as 6 boxes had grown to 10, then 15. His backpack could barely handle the weight. His parents were thrilled that their sales had doubled, but they couldn't understand where all the chicken was going. "Who is buying so much chicken?" his father asked one evening while counting the day's earnings. "Our profits have never been this good." "I told you, Dad," Tahoe said, trying to sound casual. "Kids at school love it. I'm selling it as part of a school project." His mother looked concerned. "So much chicken isn't healthy for growing children, Tahoe." Tahoe just smiled and changed the subject. He couldn't exactly tell them that aliens from another planet had developed an addiction to their family recipe. Today was special. Tahoe was carrying his biggest order yet. 10 family-sized boxes of extra spicy chicken filled his backpack and a large bag. The weight made his bike wobble, but he'd gotten used to it by now. At the warehouse, Nara was waiting with 3 small metallic objects placed on an old box that served as their trading table. "More food. Good," Nara said, immediately reaching for the chicken. "Payment today is very special." Tahoe set down the heavy bags and examined the objects. One looked like a pen but had no ink cartridge. Another was a small marble that seemed to glow from within. The third resembled a normal earphone. "What are these?" Tahoe asked, picking up the pen-like device. "Press small button," Nara instructed while tearing into the first box of chicken with obvious delight. Tahoe found a tiny button on the side of the pen. When he pressed it, a beam of blue light shot out from the tip. To his amazement, the light stayed solid in the air when he moved the pen, like he was drawing with actual light. "Whoa! Tahoe exclaimed, writing his name in glowing letters that hung in the air before slowly fading. Light pen, Nara explained between rapid bites. For writing messages in air. Next one is portable light source. Last one is translator, helps me speak your language better. Tahoe picked up the earphone device. This is how you learn Korean so fast. Nara nodded while devouring chicken at an incredible pace. Very simple technology for my people. Small gifts to thank you for excellent food. How many of you are there? Tahoe asked, watching in wonder as box after box was emptied. My ship has 20 crew, Nara replied. All now love chicken, especially spicy kind. And you're all hiding in a ship? Where? Nara pointed upward. Above city. Ship has cloaking shield. No one can see. Just then, a noise outside made them both freeze. Tahoe crept to the dirty window and peered out. His heart sank. Oh no, he whispered. It's Miji from my class. She must have followed me. Miji was his childhood friend, and she was standing outside with her bike, looking around suspiciously. She'd clearly been tracking him. She can't see you, Tahoe said in panic. Humans aren't supposed to know about aliens, right? Too late, Nara said calmly, pointing to the door. It was already opening. Miji stepped inside, her eyes immediately locking onto Nara. Her mouth opened as if to scream, but no sound came out. Miji, please don't be scared. Tahoe said quickly, rushing to her side. This is Nara. She's not from here. I can see that. Miji finally found her voice. Is that an alien? A real alien? Are you completely crazy, Tahoe? I can explain, Tahoe said desperately. Nara's people love our family's chicken. They've never tasted anything like it before. I've been bringing it to them, and they give me amazing technology in return. Look. He demonstrated the light pen, writing Miji's name in glowing letters that floated in the air. Despite her fear, Miji stepped closer, her curiosity overcoming her terror. So all those cool gadgets you've been showing off at school, she said slowly, they're alien technology? Tahoe nodded. Please, you have to keep this secret. It's important. Nara had remained still during this exchange, watching them both with her large black eyes. Now she spoke. Your friend can help, she said. Need more chicken soon. Big problem coming. What problem? Tahoe asked, suddenly worried by the serious tone in Nara's voice. Nara looked uncomfortable, her fin-like ears flattening against her head. My ship sent message home about chicken. Now fleet is coming. Fleet? Miji asked. Like more ships? Nara nodded slowly. Many more ships. With many, many hungry crew. Tahoe and Miji looked at each other in shock. How many? Tahoe asked quietly. 300 ships, Nara said, clicking nervously. Thousands of my people. All want chicken. Admiral Keck's very interested in this special food. Tahoe sat down hard on an old crate. We can't make that much chicken. The whole city couldn't make that much chicken. That is the problem, Nara said, her clicking becoming more agitated. Admiral Keck's not patient. When he wants something, he takes it. The warehouse fell silent except for the sound of Nara's nervous clicking. Somehow, Tahoe's family's fried chicken recipe had created an interstellar crisis. When will they arrive? Miji asked, her voice barely a whisper. 3 days, Nara replied. Maybe 4. They travel very fast. Tahoe felt the weight of the situation crushing down on him. What had started as an amazing secret was about to become the biggest problem Earth had ever faced. The fleet approaches. Tahoe and Miji sat on old crates in the dusty warehouse, trying to process the magnitude of their situation. Nara paced back and forth, her movements quick and nervous. We need to tell someone, Miji said, shaking her head. The government, the military, someone. No. Nara's voice was sharp. Human governments will panic. They will think it's invasion. They will attack ships, start war. But it is kind of an invasion, Tahoe pointed out. You just want our chicken instead of our planet. Nara made a sound that might have been a laugh. Admiral Keck's very powerful, very proud. If humans attack, he will be angry. Much worse than if no chicken. The weight of what was happening settled on both teenagers. Somehow, Tahoe's family's fried chicken had created an interstellar crisis. Let me see that translator, Miji said suddenly, pointing to the earphone device. Maybe we can use it to call your ship. Nara handed it to her. Miji studied it carefully, turning it over in her hands. I'm good with electronics. My dad's a computer programmer. She put the device in her ear and immediately winced. Whoa, it feels weird. Like something's moving in my brain. It learns your language patterns, Nara explained. Takes few minutes. While they waited, Tahoe asked the question that had been bothering him. Nara, why is chicken so special to your people? What does it actually do? Nara's fin-like ears twitched. On our world, we eat different food. Very bland. No taste. Your chicken has what you call spices, they affect our brain chemistry. Make us feel happy. Excited. Like your people with chocolate or sugar, but much stronger. So you're basically addicted to our food? Miji asked, the translator now working perfectly. Not addicted, Nara said defensively. Just, very much enjoy. And Admiral Kex, when he learned of this discovery. She trailed off, looking worried. What about him? Tahoe pressed. He commands largest fleet in our sector. When he wants something, he gets it. He will not understand no. Miji had been fiddling with the translator device. I think I can modify this to send a signal instead of just receive. Maybe we can contact your ship directly. That might work, Nara said, hope creeping into her voice. But Admiral Kex's fleet will arrive soon. We need plan. What if, Tahoe said slowly, an idea forming, we could convince your admiral that Earth has other foods just as good. Maybe we could trade different things instead of just chicken. Nara shook her head. Admiral Kex very focused. When he decides he wants something specific, nothing else matters. Miji looked up from the translator she was rewiring. What about negotiating? Like, we provide chicken, but in controlled amounts. Set up proper trade agreements. You not understand, Nara said, her clicking becoming agitated again. 300 ships, thousands of crew. They want chicken now. All of it. They will not wait for trade agreements. The warehouse fell silent as the reality sunk in. They had less than 3 days before an alien fleet arrived expecting enough Korean fried chicken to feed thousands of beings. There has to be something, Tahoe said desperately. Some weakness, some way to negotiate. Nara stopped pacing. There is one possibility. But dangerous. What is it? Both teenagers asked at once. Admiral Keck's proud warrior. He respects strength, cleverness. If someone could challenge him, prove they worthy of respect. Challenge him how? Miji asked. Contest. Game. Battle of wits. If humans could prove they deserve to be partners, not conquered, he might listen. But we're just kids, Tahoe protested. How could we challenge an alien admiral? Not challenge to fight, Nara clarified. Challenge to prove intelligence, worthiness. Your people have saying, David and Goliath, yes. Small being defeats large through cleverness. Miji had finished her modifications to the translator. Let's try to contact your ship first. Maybe we can learn more about this admiral. She pressed several buttons in sequence. The device hummed with energy, then projected a holographic display showing symbols that shifted and moved. "It's working," Nara said excitedly. "You connected to ship's communication system." A new voice came through the device, speaking in the alien language. Nara responded quickly, her fingers flattening as she listened to the response. "What are they saying?" Tahoe asked urgently. Nara's expression grew grave. "Fleet arrived early. They are in your solar system now. Admiral Kex demands meeting in 2 days, not 3. "Meeting about what?" Miji asked, though she already suspected the answer. "To discuss terms of chicken surrender. If Earth cannot provide enough chicken for entire fleet." Nara paused, looking uncomfortable. "What happens then?" Tahoe pressed. "Then Admiral Kex will take what he needs by force. Your planet will become chicken farm for our people." The holographic display suddenly changed, showing the image of a much larger alien than Nara. This being had the same basic features but was clearly older, with more elaborate scales and piercing golden eyes instead of black ones. When the figure spoke, its voice was deep and commanding, even through the translator. "I am Admiral Kex of the Gliese Imperial Fleet. I speak to humans who control chicken supply. You will meet with me tomorrow at sunset. Coordinates will be provided. Come prepared to discuss terms, or Earth will face consequences." The transmission ended, leaving them in stunned silence. "Tomorrow?" Tahoe said weakly. "But we don't have a plan. We don't have anything." "We have one thing," Miji said determinedly. "We have each other, and we know something the Admiral doesn't." "What's that?" Nara asked. Miji smiled grimly. "We know that the best chicken on Earth comes from one small restaurant, run by people who put love into every recipe. That's not something you can just take by force." The Admiral's challenge. The meeting point was the same warehouse where everything had started, but now it felt completely different. As sunset approached, the space filled with an eerie blue light as Admiral Kex's shuttle landed outside. Tahoe's hands were shaking as he arranged boxes of freshly made chicken on the makeshift table. His parents had worked all day on a special batch, not knowing their son was about to negotiate with an alien fleet commander. "You sure about this plan?" Miji whispered nervously. She was hidden behind some old machinery with a modified communicator, ready to help if needed. "No," Tahoe admitted. "But it's all we've got." Nara stood beside him, looking more nervous than he'd ever seen her. "Remember, Admiral Kex respects directness. Do not show fear, even if you feel it." The warehouse door opened, and Admiral Kex entered. He was massive compared to Nara, nearly 7 feet tall with golden scales that seemed to shimmer with their own light. His golden eyes fixed on Tahoe immediately. "You are the human child who controls chicken supply." His voice was deep and commanding, made even more intimidating by the translator's perfect Korean. Tahoe stood as straight as he could. "I'm Tahoe. My family makes the chicken your people love so much." Admiral Keck circled the table, examining the boxes with intense interest. "Such small containers for such valuable cargo. My fleet requires food for thousands. You have thousands of these?" "That's what we need to discuss," Tahoe said, proud that his voice stayed steady. "The chicken isn't just food. There's something special about it that you need to understand." The Admiral's eyes narrowed. "Explain." Tahoe had spent all night thinking about this moment. "In my family, we don't just cook chicken. We put love into every recipe. My grandmother taught us that food made with care and love tastes different from food made just for profit." Admiral Kex made a dismissive sound. "Superstition. Food is fuel. Nutrients and pleasure compounds." "Then why," Tahoe asked boldly, "haven't your scientists been able to recreate it? Nara told me you analyzed our spices, our cooking methods. But you can't make it taste the same, can you?" For the first time, Admiral Kex looked uncertain. We have had difficulties reproducing exact flavor profile. Because you're missing the most important ingredient, Tahoe continued. The care. The love. The fact that my parents wake up every morning excited to feed people, to make them happy. You can't force that. You can't take it by conquering us. Ridiculous, Admiral Keck snarled. Emotion does not affect molecular structure of food. Doesn't it? Miji stepped out from her hiding place, holding up a scanner she'd built from alien components. I've been analyzing the chicken your scout brought back to your ship versus the chicken made in our restaurant. There are actual chemical differences. Admiral Kex examined the device, his expression shifting from dismissal to surprise. This technology, you modified our equipment? She's very smart, Tahoe said proudly. And she proved what I've been trying to tell you. Happy cooks make better food. Scared, conquered cooks. Their food will never taste the same. The Admiral was quiet for a long moment, his golden eyes moving between Tahoe, Miji, and the scanner readings. You dare to lecture me about conquest, he finally said, his voice dangerous. I command the largest fleet in 3 sectors. And I'm just a 13-year-old kid who helps in his family's restaurant, Tahoe replied. But I know something you don't. I know why our chicken is special, and I know it can't be taken by force. Admiral Keck stepped closer, looming over Tahoe. You challenge my judgment, young human. This was the moment Nara had warned him about. The make-or-break point where Admiral Kex would either respect his courage or destroy him for his impudence. Yes, Tahoe said clearly. I challenge you to prove that conquest makes better food than cooperation. The warehouse fell absolutely silent. Even Nara looked shocked at Tahoe's boldness. Admiral Keck stared down at him for what felt like an eternity. Then, unexpectedly, he began to make a sound that Tahoe realized was laughter. Bold. Very bold, the Admiral said. I accept your challenge, young human. But if you lose, your planet becomes our chicken farm. And if I win? Tahoe asked. Then we negotiate proper trade agreement. Partnership, not conquest. How do we test it? Miji asked. Admiral Kex gestured to his communication device. I call my ship. They prepare chicken using your recipes and our methods, forced labor, conquered ingredients. You prepare chicken with your love methods. He said the word mockingly. My crew tastes both. If yours is better, you win. Deal, Tahoe said without hesitation. As Admiral Keck spoke rapid commands to his ship, Tahoe quietly asked Nara, what happens if we lose? Then Earth becomes chicken colony, she whispered back. But Tahoe, there is something Admiral Kex does not know. What? Our people, when we are happy, we taste food differently. When we are sad or angry, flavors become dull. If his crew prepares food by force, even they will not enjoy it as much. Tahoe smiled. Then we'd better make sure our chicken is the best we've ever made. The final recipe. An hour later, the warehouse had been transformed into the strangest cooking competition in galactic history. Admiral Kex's crew had beamed down cooking equipment and ingredients, while Tahoe had called his parents with the excuse that he needed to prepare a very important meal for foreign exchange students. His parents arrived with their portable cooking setup, completely unaware they were about to save Earth from becoming an alien chicken farm. So many people for a school project, his mother said, looking around at the various aliens who had now removed their disguises. And such interesting costumes. It's a very international exchange program, Tahoe said weakly. Admiral Kex watched with fascination as Tahoe's parents began their preparation. They worked with practiced efficiency, but more importantly, they worked with joy. His mother hummed while mixing spices, and his father smiled as he checked the oil temperature. They seem happy to cook, Admiral Kex observed. They love feeding people, Tahoe explained. It's not just a job for them. It's how they show they care. Meanwhile, on Admiral Kex's ship, the chicken was being prepared by crew members who had been ordered to recreate the recipe exactly. They had all the right ingredients, the correct temperatures, the precise cooking times. But they worked with the mechanical efficiency of soldiers following orders. Nara was translating the preparation process for Admiral Kex, whose golden eyes missed nothing. "Your parents add ingredients not in recipe," he noted. "What do you mean?" Tahoe asked. "Small taste tests. Adjustments. They change recipe as they cook." "Of course," Miji said, understanding immediately. "They're not just following instructions. They're cooking with intuition, with experience, with care." Admiral Kex's communication device buzzed. His ship crew reported they were finished. The chicken had been prepared exactly according to specifications. At the same time, Tahoe's parents finished their batch. The warehouse filled with the incredible aroma of perfectly seasoned, lovingly prepared Korean fried chicken. "Ready for judging," Tahoe announced. Admiral Kex activated his communication device. "Beam down both preparations." 2 containers materialized on the table, one from the ship, one from Tahoe's parents. They looked identical, golden brown and perfectly cooked. "I will taste both," Admiral Kex declared. "As will my crew." 3 more aliens materialized in the warehouse, Admiral Kex's senior staff. They approached the table with military precision. Admiral Kex picked up a piece from the ship-prepared batch first. He bit into it, chewed thoughtfully, and his expression remained neutral. "Adequate. Follows recipe correctly." Then he tried the chicken prepared by Tahoe's parents. The moment it touched his tongue, his golden eyes widened. His fin-like ears perked up, and he made the same happy clicking sound that Nara always did. "This." He paused, taking another bite. "This is different." His crew members tried both batches. The reaction was unanimous. While the ship-prepared chicken was good, the restaurant-prepared chicken was extraordinary. "How?" Admiral Kex demanded, looking genuinely confused. "Same ingredients, same method, same temperature." Tahoe's mother, who had been watching with curious interest, stepped forward. "May I?" she asked, gesturing to the ship-prepared chicken. Admiral Kex nodded. She tasted a small piece, considered it carefully, then smiled. "It's good," she said diplomatically, "but it tastes like it was made by someone who didn't enjoy making it." "Food always tastes better when the cook is happy." "Impossible," Admiral Kex muttered, but his conviction was wavering. "Let me ask you something," Tahoe said. "When your crew prepared this chicken, were they excited? Were they looking forward to it? Or were they just following orders?" Admiral Kex was quiet for a moment. "They were following orders. As soldiers should. And when my parents cook," Tahoe continued, "they're not just following orders. They're creating something they're proud of, something they want to share. They put a piece of themselves into every dish." Nara had been translating everything for the other crew members. Now she spoke up. "Admiral, it is true. When we eat food prepared with joy, it tastes better to us too. Happy food makes happy eating." Admiral Kex looked around at his crew, then at Tahoe's parents, who were beaming with pride at the aliens' obvious enjoyment of their cooking. "Your parents," he said slowly, "they do not know what we are. They think you're foreign exchange students in really good costumes," Miji admitted. "Yet they cook for us with same care as their own people." "Of course," Tahoe said. "That's what hospitality means. You take care of guests, whoever they are." Admiral Kex sat down heavily on one of the crates. For a moment, he looked less like a conquering fleet commander and more like someone who was very tired. "In our culture," he said quietly, "food is fuel. Efficiency is everything. We forgot that eating can be joy." "It doesn't have to be forgotten," Tahoe's mother said gently. "We could teach you. Not as conquered people, but as friends." "Friends," Admiral Kex repeated the word slowly. You would be friends with us. After we threatened your world. You haven't hurt anyone, Tahoe pointed out. And you're willing to listen, to learn. That's what friends do. Admiral Keck stood up and walked to his communication device. He spoke rapidly in his own language for several minutes. When he finished, he turned back to the group. I have recalled the fleet. We will not conquer Earth. He paused, then continued with something that might have been embarrassment. Instead, I would like to propose a trade agreement. Your family's restaurant will supply chicken to my people. In return, we offer technology and resources that will benefit your world. But we can't supply thousands of aliens, Tahoe protested. We're just one restaurant. Admiral Keck smiled, showing his triangle teeth. Not thousands. My crew has decided to establish a small colony here, with your government's permission. Maybe 50 individuals who truly love your food culture. The rest of the fleet will return home with recipes and the knowledge that the best food comes from happy cooks. You mean? Miji said slowly, some of your people want to stay on Earth? To learn, Nara said excitedly. To understand how to cook with joy instead of just efficiency. Maybe even to help other restaurants learn our techniques. Tahoe looked at his parents, who were still processing everything they'd witnessed. Mom, Dad, he said carefully, how would you feel about expanding the restaurant? Maybe opening a second location that serves both Korean food and international cuisine. His father looked around at the aliens, then back at Tahoe. Son, I don't know what kind of school project this really is, but if these people appreciate good food and want to learn, then they're welcome at our table. His mother nodded enthusiastically. And imagine the cooking techniques we could learn from each other. Admiral Kex approached Tahoe and, to everyone's surprise, bowed formally. Young human, you have taught an old warrior something important today. Conquest takes many forms. Sometimes the greatest victory is making a friend instead of an enemy. So this means no invasion? Tahoe asked. This means partnership, Admiral Kex replied. Your world will benefit from our technology. Our people will benefit from your, how do you say, hospitality. Nara clicked happily. And I get to stay as cultural ambassador. Best job in galaxy. 6 months later, Golden Wings had become the most famous restaurant in the world, and beyond. The expanded location served traditional Korean dishes alongside fusion creations that combined Earth spices with alien ingredients. Nara worked as head of cultural exchange, teaching cooking classes to both species. Tahoe still helped in the restaurant after school, but now his homework sometimes included lessons in interstellar diplomacy and xenobiology. Miji had been accepted into a special program developing Earth-alien technology exchanges. And Admiral Kex. He had surprised everyone by requesting to stay on Earth permanently. He discovered a love for cooking and now worked as the night manager, his intimidating presence ensuring that no customer ever complained about their order. You know, Tahoe said to Nara one evening as they cleaned up after the dinner rush, when you first came to our restaurant, I never imagined it would lead to all this. Best chicken in galaxy, Nara replied with a happy click. Worth traveling across stars for. Just remember, Tahoe grinned, it all started with a family recipe and a little bit of love. Outside the restaurant, Earth's first alien colony was thriving, and somewhere in space, other worlds were learning that the best food comes not from conquest, but from the simple desire to make others happy. The end.